So, good morning or good night, depending where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And tonight I'm joined by Christopher Elliott, and he's from the band Buzzard. So, Christopher, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to chat.
Yeah, so when you send me the promo,
Yeah.
the thing I love the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So tell me, the elevator pitch is like, what if, what was that? You can say it better.
Yeah. What if Bob Dylan listened to Black Sabbath and read H.P. Lovecraft? Right. Those are like the three realms of art and music and literature that I've been obsessed with my whole life. I was like, what if I just kind of throw it all together? And that's how Buzzard happened.
Yeah. So for people who haven't listened to Buzzard, it's described as like doom folk.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like doom Americana metal. So I try to weave together singer-songwriter Americana with old school classic doom and the lyrics. I mean, there's a big emphasis on the lyrics, and they're drawn from the Lovecraftian realm of weird fiction up until today, like Thomas Ligotti and that little bleak world of anti-natalist cosmic pessimism mixed in with like the social awareness and protest of like the 60s troubadour Greenwich Village, kind of Phil Oakes, Dylan protest songs and stand-up comedy as well. I hope there's a little gallows humor creeps in to my music and some satire, because George Carlin, Bill Hicks, those are all big influences as well. So kind of weaving together those threads in the lyrics as well.
yeah, George Carlin was a great comedian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, all the comedians nowadays, George Carlin was better than all of them put together. Like when you see them
He's the
old.
master. He's the master of language and the social commentary. And man, did he get dark at the end.
Yeah, no, he was great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually, the first time I saw George Carlin was more, I discovered who he was through Bill and Ted's,
Uh-huh.
because
Wow.
he was the guy who got them to travel through time. Remember Bill and Ted's Excellent
Yeah,
Adventure?
sure. Yeah, the character in the film. Yeah.
Yeah, Rufus, I think, was the name of the character, if I'm not mistaken. So the music from Buzzard, because how many instruments do you play for this project?
I mean, I play all the instruments on the record. It's not crazy. It's just acoustic and electric guitar, six string, electric and acoustic bass, not stand up bass, just a few different basses, um, and some banjo, but it's six string banjo. So it's kind of cheating because it's the same tuning as a regular six string guitar. A little dobro, and hand drums, and that's about it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's an interesting sound because I like that you said like protest music because I got those vibes
Yeah.
like listening to the song. So the new album, which just came out, I think like a week ago, it's called Mean Bone.
Yes.
So yeah, but before that, you had the other album, Doom Folk,
Yeah.
that came out last year, and
Yeah.
it's going to be actually reissued, right?
Yeah, on vinyl. It's already, I just came out to Irby Records in Austin. So I do have a limited pressing on black wax of 100. And I've got, I don't know, a dozen left here at Buzzard HQ. And I'm selling them on Bandcamp. And then the label has the rest of them. I'm really excited. I mean, I think for a lot of musicians, it's kind of a dream come true to get your music on vinyl. I'm a big vinyl guy. I have CDs behind me right here. But if I turn the phone around, I'm 1,500 vinyl records. I'm a big collector. So just to have Buzzard on vinyl, which I feel like is how that kind of music's meant to be heard, a kind of doomy Americana. So I'm stoked about that.
Nice. And Mean Bone, is it out on vinyl or not yet?
No, we'll see. I've got CDs though.
Yeah. So you're promoting both albums. You got the Doom Folk and you got Mean Bone.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how this musical project started.
It started with a photograph of a buzzard in a Cleveland cemetery. My friend's brother-in-law, I don't know if you know, Cleveland's famous for the Buzzards, like the radio station called The Buzzard, which is where Rush got their start with Working Man, and the Cemeteries. So they're famous for the Buzzards. And so my friend's brother-in-law sent this picture, and I have this group of two other friends, the three of us, for decades. We've been like metal buddies. Like we went to grad school together, and we're like the only people like seemed in the world that were into metal. And we'd have metal fests where we'd like round robin style hang out for hours, drink bourbon, and listen to metal. And anyway, we got the picture of the Buzzard, and we're all like, that would be the perfect cover for a Doom album. This was about 2019. And then my friend Andrew, who's also a graphic designer, made a logo for a band, Buzzard. So I was like, we got the cover, we got the logo, we just don't have the band. So I'm like, that inspired me to start thinking about, hey, maybe I could really make this Doom folk thing work. I mean, I had songs kicking around for a while, but this was the spark. This was the impetus. So the first song I wrote for the project was the first song on the record, Buzzard. And I immediately, because what I'd always wanted to do was combine banjo and Black Sabbath riffs, like the Devil's Tone, Tritone. And I just love banjo with minor keys. So that song just like it came in like 5 minutes, you know, because it's like this had been welling up for decades. And most of the records on the first one I wrote, you know, at that time, had a few older ones kicking around that hadn't found a home. And I fitted into the song sequence. And that's it. And I made the cover, that purpley cover. Obviously, it was Masters of Reality, Sabbath purple. Actually, I think I got a copy here. I got the vinyl here too, just to remind myself of what songs are on what. So, and there's this, and so I just made the cover in Photoshop with, you know, taking out the picture of the Buzzard on the cross in the cemetery. Took my friend Andrew's logo and just played around with it. I have very minimal, crude Photoshop skills, like zero skills. Put that together. Then for the vinyl, Irby Records juiced it up. They redesigned it, made it look way better.
Yeah, no, I like the way the logo looks for the Buzzard.
Yeah. Andrew did a good job. I feel like it communicates exactly what I was going for. It's got a little bit of that, a little Sabbathy. It's got like the stoner era trouble ish in it, you know. That's how it started. And then it sat around. I tweaked it. I made CDRs for my friend, like 4 CDRs in 2019 of that record. And I thought maybe I'll put it out eventually. The pandemic hit and I kept procrastinating. I put out a solo folk record during the pandemic. And part of it was tweaking the mixes and obsessing over it. And part of it was just, I don't know, I think a lot of musicians feel like it's that last 1% to commit, press publish on Bandcamp, or just do it. If you don't have a deadline, months become years. But then finally in 2014, I was like, I'm going to do it and just see, expecting it to sink into the void.
You mean 2024?
2024, yeah. Okay. 2024 is when I put it out.
Okay. Yeah. So before that, did you play in other bands before you did Buzzard?
Yeah. I mean, I've been kind of a lone wolf my whole life. I was just a solo singer-songwriter for many years, starting in college and then in Boston and Cambridge in the 90s. I did a whole other thing. I did singer-songwriter folk in Cambridge. And then I met my partner, Lisa, in 2001, and she sings and plays guitar as well. We started singing together. So we have a duo, Austin and Elliott, and we put out our first record 2006, I want to say, somewhere around there. We've been playing steadily since then. Haven't done the solo thing as much the last 20 years. Been mostly singing with her, Austin and Elliott. And we do a lot of dark stuff. We do some tight harmonies. She plays hand drum. Some of it's kind of buzzardy. It was like over the years as we played together, we got darker and a little edgier, and then we just kind of started to bleed into Buzzard.
Yeah, no, interesting. So this new album, Mean Bone, let's talk about the album artwork, which is pretty cool. for this one, and we can talk about the inspiration for
Mhm.
work on this one, which is you went totally different color, like white, and you have. I'm assuming that's the skeleton of a deer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, is that Bambi's mother? No,
Yeah, and she's pissed. Bambi's mother is pissed, and she's out. She's out for revenge.
she's like, motherfucker, you shot me. At least you know you get my references. Because this is a funny story. My girlfriend, now my fiance, let me say that correctly. Fiance, she her mother had a dog and his name was Bambi. And we took it to a vet, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna clean him. What's the name?" I'm like, "Bambi," and I cracked a joke like, "Do not ask him about his mother." And I don't think she had saw the movie, and she's like, "What?" So that joke didn't land for her. But yeah, tell me a little bit about the artwork.
um, that's it's a public domain image. Off the top of my head, I can't name the source. It's from the 1600s, like those medical books.
Oh,
The artist would render skeletons as as correct as possible to teach anatomy and study the form. And so I just, again, minimal visual skills and artistic talent. So I was just trawling through public domain databases, and I just stumbled upon that skeleton image, and it spoke to me. I was like, I found my totem animal, and just really resonated. I adjust the proportions; it's a little thinner. The original image, played around with it, and then pieced together the coloring. It's the same logo, and I just thought it went well with an olive color. And the rest of the album does have skeletons. It has a very high skeleton per song ratio. Uh, if you open it up, I just collected a lot of other really cool, macabre, lean, mean-looking skeletons from this medical textbook.
nice. Yeah, and since it's public domain, you can use it. I learned that a few months ago when I interviewed a band called Exile Hope, and she's a law
Mm.
that deals with that. So she told me all about that. Like,
Yeah.
you can actually use that artwork. So yeah, that's cool. So let's like grow. I obviously I know you like Black Sabbath, but what other like musical influences like really shaped your sound?
I mean, on the Doom side, Trouble, Candlemass, usual suspects from that era. Nowadays, Yob, and there's a Swedish band, Isole. I'm not exactly sure how to say their name. Isole. It's just one of my favorite kind of post Candlemass bands that have the clean vocals with almost like choral arrangements on some songs. Some really beautiful doomy riffs and acoustics. Solitude Eternus, you know, just that kind of classic realm of doom, especially if it's more epic, of the epic melodic variety. But sure, Electric Wizard and the stonier, seedier side of it as well, the fuzzier side. In terms of singer songwriters, I mean Bob Dylan, like in the elevator pitch, um,
Yeah,
kind of the alpha and omega. And the thing about getting into Dylan, there's the songwriting, of course. And for those time in my life, I was obsessed with Dylan. I was like one of those guys that had like 500 bootlegs, like back before the internet, trading CDRs through the mail, like the deadhead equivalent of collecting shows. Like, oh, I want to get Scranton 1987 because he played this one song with one different lyric, like that level of obsession with Dylan. But besides all that, he's just a gateway into Americana because he synthesizes so many strands of American music, not only in his original music but in his covers. So you've got that Americana, bluegrass, uh, uh, blues of any era, rockabilly, classic rock, bluegrass, so he's kind of like my gateway drug to all that kind of music. And still to this day, the artists that influenced me the most out of that, like from Doc Boggs, Blind Willie McTell, Ralph Stanley, all those artists I discovered through Dylan.
Yeah, so it was like a gateway to more music.
Yeah, and he's almost like a savant, I think, of remembering songs and performing them, like on the Basement tapes with the band, where they're just hours and hours hanging out, playing songs off the top of their head. Dylan put out a couple really great traditional folk albums in the early 90s, and they had an impact on me, opening up British Isles folk song, the child ballads from Appalachia, and that style of lyric writing and classic melodies that you adapt to often very morbid supernatural stories.
Yeah. I'm wondering, did you see the biopic? I haven't seen it.
I did. And as a rule, I usually hate those kinds of movies. Yeah, they're usually so corny. They're just kind of cringy, and it was good. It was awesome. Probably my favorite thing about it was Ed Norton playing Pete Seeger. Did a great job in that role. I really appreciated that.
He's a great.
And what's his face? Timothy Chalamet learned all the songs, and he did a fabulous job singing them, performing them. Did you see it?
I haven't seen the movie, but I see like something him performing Saturday Night Live.
Oh, you saw that?
I think I saw something, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds pretty good. So that's a commitment for the part. For biopics, I feel the same as you. Sometimes they're really like the one from Queen was god awful. Like,
yeah.
Like they sugared it down, and
that's what they do.
Yeah. The one from The Doors was good. The one in the 90s where Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I think I saw it back then. I don't remember much about it.
But you should.
It seemed pretty solid. Yeah, no, that Dylan on SNL, that was he plays some deep cuts, dude. Like, it was almost like he came out and it was like he wanted to prove all the Dylanologists wrong. Like, he didn't just come out and do like the hits that everyone knows. He did some deep cuts from New Morning, Three Angels, then that song called, like the spoken word thing from New Morning. So that was pretty rad.
So he convinced you. You were like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I don't stand in judgment. I'm not like that much of like impress me with your Dylan. It's more like it was just fun. It was true that he connected with it and authentically. But it's also true I get burned out on all the covers. I don't need to hear anyone sing any of his hit songs again,
Yeah. It's like if it's been done so much, it's good that he did some obscure stuff. So
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the themes that you cover on Mean Bone.
Mean Bone. Okay. Well, I definitely I attack religion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my politics are pretty clear. It's the anti-MAGA stuff is there, and you should see the stuff I'm writing right now. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do next. I've got tons of songs on my hard drive, a lot of songs I'm writing. I don't know if I'm going to do pretty extremely political EP, or maybe it's becoming an LP because I just can't shut up about it in my songs. So there's that, and I'm hoping I deal with it kind of like heavy-handed, but in that kind of just like tight couplets, boom, a little satirical, not preachy, just like a little more either the catharsis of getting this shit off my chest, or some of it I like to think is more observational. From the point of view of someone a little alienated from society who's commenting on just the downfall of civilization and the cruelty of mankind. So there's that, and there's just exploring the wickedness of man, the tragedy of the human condition. And
that's primitive, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's got the super Trump thing on there, which I almost was like it was too on the nose, but I was like, it felt good. It was fun. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
it's like
cracking up when I'm doing some of these songs. I know it's like full of woe and dread, but to me, there's kind of this gleeful venting because I'm not beating around the bush.
no. I could tell right away. I thought at first like maybe it's a cover of Primitive by Soulfly. I
That
don't
was, I totally stole the hook. I mean, like folk singers steal, but like we like to think of it like we synthesize, right? You synthesize.
because there was a part
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you were like, the Primitive.
Back to totally. I love that song. It's my favorite Soulfly song. So
Yeah.
I know I could do the footnotes and be like, I stole this, I stole that. I got a couple Bill Hicks lines I stole. Obviously,
Those,
Dunwich Farm is
you
Maggie's
were
from Dylan.
inspired.
What's that?
You were inspired.
Yeah, So I deal a lot with the environment and climate change. I'm vegan, so animal rights. I mean, one of the projects I'd really like to do is I have an EP worth of songs that are just all about animals rising from the grave and destroying humanity in various ways. and every way you could possibly imagine. Roadkill coming back to life, cows coming back to steal back all their skin that's used in clothing, elephants stomping the circus.
You you read cemetery way too much.
Yeah. I got my I'm drinking water out of my farm sanctuary mug.
Yeah.
It's a climate change also. I'm trying to deal with environmental issues. I think the back half of the record touches on that even more.
I was reading today apparently that somewhere, I don't know if it's the North, I think it was the North Pole, like there's more ice. So, well, maybe that's a good thing because the ice was melting. So maybe if there's more ice, I guess that's a good trend. But I gotta check what exactly it is. So others, I like Primitive, but you have two songs that are like the singles, Darkness Wins.
Yes.
That one was a great one. Like, and I had
Thanks.
like that doomy, like almost stoner vibes to it.
Yeah. Well, these songs are they're the first songs I've ever written on electric guitar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I bought it Ibanez last year and just to confess, all the distorted guitar on Doomfolk, it's acoustic. I just distorted it. So there's actually aren't any electric guitars on Doomfolk. It sounds like it, but it was more using preamps in the studio because I didn't own an electric guitar at that point. So I got a couple now. Got a new Gibson behind me too. So those are the like actually writing, which is way different because with an acoustic guitar you can basically play it solo. You flesh it out, you work the chords and the melody. But like writing something like Darkness Wins, it's like playing the riff and singing a lot. It doesn't have the presence. You can't inhabit the song while writing it. So it's like you got to sketch it out, record it with the bass and drums and the guitar, and then keep writing it because it's the only way to inhabit it sonically to finish it. You can't just sit in your bedroom and really write that song. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to write. Just that was a moment of Black inspiration. I could tell you the story. It was inspired by, I mentioned before, Thomas Ligotti. And are you familiar with True Fiction? The True Detective. Sorry, True Detective.
Oh, yes, I've seen True Detective.
Yeah, the first season.
The best one.
So, dude, I don't know, maybe you know about this, but Thomas Ligotti is a horror author, and he also wrote this philosophical treatise called Conspiracy Against the Human Race. And so when Detective Cole is in the car and he goes on those bleak soliloquies about human consciousness is a mistake and the malevolence of the cosmos, those are cribbed from Ligotti, more or less. And so then at the end of the season when they catch the killer and there's that moment where Detective Cole says, oh, this is horrible, but the light is winning. And I really dislike that ending because to me it betrayed the cosmic pessimism of the show. Plus the vibe and the atmosphere and the mood of it was so incredible. And then at the end, they catch the killer, and it's bah, 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 like more like a whodunit. And so the song is like an answer to that phrase, "The light is winning." I'm like, nope, it's not. Darkness wins. And I was especially inspired because all of what I'm explaining right now really hit me when I was reading this essay by this other weird fiction author, John Paget, who's like a friend and works with Ligotti. And he wrote an essay basically diving into what I was saying right there, exploring how that season of True Detective kind of betrayed its original cosmic Ligottian pessimism by having this forced optimism at the end. And it was when reading that essay that I hit upon what I just explained to you, and just the phrase "darkness wins" came to me. I like put down the essay and picked up the guitar, and like 5 days later, the song was done.
Nice. Yeah, I remember vaguely that season. I know that after the seasons that followed haven't been as great as the first one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And also, okay, go ahead.
No, interesting story. No, what you were gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, the imagery in the songs also kind of inspired by that weird fiction realm of carnivals, like a sinister carnival. And there's a publishing house called Chiroptera Press that put out an edition of a lost X-Files episode the Ligotti co-wrote. It never got made, but they wrote the screenplay or teleplay or whatever. And the cover to it has like bleak, dark, black and white images of a carnival. And so those images were floating in my mind as well. And that's how I think I got that picture of the clown with the neon and the flapping carnival tents and storm coming in.
Awesome, man. If you think about it, the X-Files, they never resolved anything.
Yeah, right. It's always right.
If I don't know if you think about it, they would have been fired for like we haven't solved that.
Right.
Like, what?
Like, yeah, you file your quarterly reports and they're like, really?
I'm like, let's call Doge.
Yeah, I think they might be expendable. Yeah, right. Have Doge like, so what cases did you solve in the last week email? Right. Yeah. I think we could trim some fat at this organization. How about these two agents that have actually yet to solve anything?
Yeah. What you did.
That's hilarious. I never really thought of it that way. That's funny.
Yeah, I remember there was even a movie for the X-Files.
I don't know. Did you see it?
I remember seeing the movie.
I did see it.
Remember it, but I remember the show where they never kissed, and it was like a tension. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't think that's the most important thing of the show. The important thing is that they can't solve shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's put it in the X-Files.
No, it's because it's unsolvable. They're just like Sisyphus. They're just these heroes that just push the rock up to the top and let it roll down, and they just that's a lot in life, like fate in a circle.
My actual job was like that. Oh, why didn't you? I couldn't find it. I can't. Oh well, but yeah. So that's a cool song, and
thanks.
Also, Conclusions.
All right, yeah.
That's another one. That's one of the singles, and I like the song that ends the record, "Ancient Ruins of 21st Century." That's a good way like to finish the record. And to me, listening to the record, I got some of, obviously I got everything that you're talking about, but I also thought that it was like it was bleak. It was a bleak record. It didn't have like a happy ending.
No, I kind of thought of it, and let me tell you, Ancient Ruins was a last minute switch. I had a different song on last, and it's great to get feedback like that, because I mean, I don't know, like you always doubt yourself. You say, oh, did I make the right call to take it off? But there's something about the balance of the record, even though it's a pretty long album, and I'm not sure it's meant to be listened to in one sitting. I mean, abandon all hope. Whoever wants to sit down and listen to this all the way through. I mean, like,
the album First Driving.
Like, whoa. I feel like it might be more the thing you dip into once in a while. But just thinking about just the balance of acoustics and electric and the vibe, it's just dawned on me. It wasn't the kind of record that should try to force like a climax or a heavy thing at the end. And the song before was a little heavier. So I took that off and I had this kicking around. I did a few overdubs. It's actually is one of the few songs that predates Buzzard. It's been around a while, like Homeless, without a home, not knowing where to put it. And what's like yeah, like a little coda, like, and also zooming out in time, geological time. It was almost like after all this is finished, all that Sturm und Drang, all that, and it's either a future generation of humanity, if the species does survive on Earth, or it's aliens visiting and discovering the ruins of an old shopping mall and kind of going through this stuff, like archaeologists sticking stuff like, what was this? And what did they do here? Did they worship? Did they seem to spend a lot of time at this mall. It must have been very important. Just kind of like in Dawn of the Dead, where they're speculating why the zombies returned to the mall. It's like, it was a very important part of their lives. And that's why. And also another way I thought of it was like the first song, Darkness Wins, is kind of like sets the table. Like Darkness Wins, here's the tale of the world as it is right now. Here's like a State of the Union address, or a state of disunion address. And then the last song is kind of like Darkness Won. It happened. It's all over now. And now it's just the ruins. And some future sentient beings are just curiously sifting through and scrutinizing the detritus we left behind.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. You were mentioning the malls and things. Have you ever seen that show called Life After People? Who were the like
no, but I think I've heard the title. I'm intrigued by the title, but I'm not familiar with it.
So basically the show, they put like a city, and then they start like one day after people, and they start putting like what would happen, and then you like nature would take over. It's pretty interesting. Like Life After People. What?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Where is it? Where can you watch it?
I'm sure it's streaming, but I think watch some. I think it's on the History Channel. Because the History Channel is interesting. Through daytime, they're talking about like history, and like if you watch a History Channel in the morning, the pyramids were built by people. If you watch it at night, it was aliens.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's interesting. Yeah, it's like that's the demographic. It's like the people in the morning want the truth. The people at night want the conspiracy theories.
I'm like, I don't know, maybe it was people. It took a long time.
So you wake up in the morning and you're like, yeah, come on, it was people. And by night you're like, dude, it was aliens.
So it's like when I visited Stonehenge, I remember they were saying like, oh, this place, it was placed strategically before of the light. And I thought to myself, what if they were just tired of carrying these fucking rocks and they leave them here?
Right. It was like, fuck it.
They're like, Bob, they're good here. Leave them there. You never know, but yeah. But it's interesting, like seeing those. I find fascinating seeing things that are super old and they're still standing, while we're much crap today that falls.
Yeah. You're reminding me of like as an American, I grew up here. I didn't travel a lot growing up, but in college, I had my one semester away. And I don't know if you've had this experience, like traveling in Europe, but like just went to Rome, and just like you feel it in your bones, the span of time. You understand it intellectually living in the US where everything's new and young, but it doesn't hit you until you're standing next to ruins that are millennia old next to a Starbucks and seeing it all together.
The Roman Colosseum. The Roman Colosseum is like awesome, like seeing it and all those things. So I had that experience. But luckily here in Puerto Rico, we have an old fort.
That's right. You've got.
So it's not as old as the Colosseum, but it's still like 500 or more.
Yeah,
So it's not that.
Yeah, civilization. Was definitely predates these here United States.
Oh yeah. It's pretty. it's pretty cool watching the forts. Like I've seen them all my life of them. So yeah, so I know this is basically you. So is this a project that you're always just going to put out music, but obviously not play it live, or do you plan on sometime in the future doing some type of show with this?
If the opportunity evolves like organically, I'd keep an open mind. If there's something, came up and it works, then I would definitely do it. I mean, I don't have a band, so I can't really bring the metal live. I can certainly do acoustic sets. I mean,
Yeah, acoustic.
by myself with Lisa, which would be pretty interesting if there's an audience for it. I mean, we'll show up, but I just don't want to force anything. If I've been there, I've done that. I know what it's like to try to tour and force yourself into venues or contexts where it's contrived. But if someone invited me or us to play, I'd be like, sure, you guys want to do it? Let's do it.
Yeah. So yeah. So how, like, where can people follow you and get Doom Folk or Mean Bone?
There's Bandcamp. I'm not the only artist that thought of using the word buzzard, so put in buzzard doom folk is an easy way to find it. Amp Wall as well, and I'm most active on Instagram, using post pictures and stuff like that. And I've got some lyric videos on these here YouTubes, including Ancient Runes of 21st Century and Darkness Winds. And speaking of public domain, for videos, I make lyric videos using public domain footage and kind of edit them together to kind of set the vibe or go with the lyrics. And I think the vibe kind of fits. It's different, and it's better than trying to lip sync or mime or put together something that's I don't know. But music videos often don't work for me, so I'm just trying something different.
Yeah, or maybe just do something of like some buzzards flying around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I've included that in one of the lyric videos, or making a little canvas for Spotify. Yeah. Speaking of which, the stuff's on Spotify, and I should mention, if I'm going to be smart about plugging stuff, I do have another record that's on the Buzzard Bandcamp called Satyricus Dumicus Americus, and this is a project that's Buzzard adjacent. It's pretty doom folky. There's only a couple songs that are heavy at all, and as the title suggests, it's a little more satirical. It's still doomy. It's very socially aware, and I'm proud of it. I think it's good. I
haven't listened to that one.
Yeah. Check it out. I use a lot of audio samples. Again, speaking of public domain materials, like vintage commercials from the 50s. The record starts with a recording of the self-checkout at Target. It's like,
oh my.
I forget exactly what it was like. Here, don't forget your receipt. Thanks. And yeah, that's the beginning of it.
There's no Target here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I lived in Miami a few years ago, and I love Target. Some cool shirts, but yeah, not here in Puerto Rico because there's a Target, but it's for like people rent cars. So that they can't. There's not a Target here, but yeah. I remember.
What are the big stores in Puerto Rico instead of Target? What are the big
department
stores?
The Marshalls.
Marshalls. All right, Marshalls here.
TJ Maxx. There used to be Kmart's until they went kaput.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They went out of business. The blue light special is no more. How sad.
No more Kmart.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, you take a look at all the stores like Kmart, Target, they're basically like the same shit. But
it's all the same.
But with a different name, but it's basically the same thing.
Same factories. A lot of the stuff we buy is the same slave labor.
Plus the tariffs.
Yeah, right.
I don't know about you, Christopher, but I never heard that word so much in my life until this year. I'm like, tariff, everybody. Like
Except for that famous scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, is it? That's
now that scene is like a documentary.
I know, right, right,
Like,
right,
did it work? No, it did not work.
right.
Yeah, just call Ben Stein. He'll explain it. Like, it doesn't work.
I know.
Yeah, whoever knew that eggs would be so expensive?
Yeah, well, I guess it's the benefit of being vegan at this point.
I think I gotta turn vegan.
You
So
might have to.
if these prices keep going up, like fuck it, I'll do it. So, Christopher, I've had fun chatting with you. So, Couch, he has two albums, Doom Folk, which you can get that one on vinyl, and Mean Bone on CD. That's the new one that
Yep.
came weeks ago. So, if you like Doom mixed with folk, listen to it. But I would agree with you. The album's 54 minutes, and I had to listen to it like in bits. Like it's an album that you have to listen to in bits.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I first listened to it driving, and I'm like, I'm gonna be depressed driving the car. like let me put some happy music after this.
Yeah, it's Doom, man. It's Doom. But
It's Doom, yeah. So before I let you go, anything you like to say to the people before we go? I call my followers my couchers.
yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm just happy to be here. This has really, really been a treat to chat with you, Hector. It was a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no, it's been fun here too. So yeah, like we can chat about music all the time, and it's good to to for people to listen to like more underground type of music, because not everything can be like the top. But you need to like dig around and listen to different stuff. And
Right. And there's such an amazing variety. And just like I focus on this one little niche genre that I'm playing with, but I mean, I listen to 70s funk, I listen to Blue Note jazz, I listen to 70s progressive rock from Italy, Germany. I listen to, I mean, death metal and black metal and doom metal and all the metals, all of it.
hold the metal.
The periodic table of music, and so it's just so much fun to keep discovering different ways. I'm listening to some more electronica because I listen to horror movie soundtracks. There's an ear for the synthy stuff that been kind of growing on me. So yeah, it's awesome. But I mean, you're doing an awesome thing, chill dude on a couch, with having these conversations and just exploring music with kindred spirits. It's such an amazing accomplishment and vibe that you got going.
Yeah, no, I like to talk all types of music. Obviously, if I don't review like the big album of the week, people will be mad. But no, I do the big albums of the week. Yeah, but yeah, it's been great chatting with you. So everyone, I'll post the link so you can maybe the Bandcamp so people can follow you. He's on Instagram as well. So
Yeah.
So until next time, couchers, this is the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.